What has your journey been like from fear to freedom?
Wow, it's big. That's a loaded question.
Yeah, let's start with the small questions, right?
Yes, exactly. How much time do we have? So the journey from fear to freedom, it's, well, let me just share with you that I was adopted when I was an infant into a white family, and I'm Black and Japanese, and which is beautiful.
Yes.
And but I was adopted into a white family in the early 70s, and life went on. My parents ended up getting a divorce when I was 6, and at that point, my dad, who I love, went on to start his new life and took a couple of the kids with him. And my other siblings eventually lived with him at different times, but he left me behind to live with my mom. And so that was a big time for me in terms of embracing fear and worry and doubt. And that was really the beginning of the message. Boy, something must really be wrong with me. Inherently, I am unlovable. So that was sort of the beginning of that. Well, I went on to Federal Way. My mom and I moved to Federal Way, where it was very homogenous back at that time.
For those of you who are not from Washington, Federal Way is very much a, let's just call it especially in the early 70s, it was a loaf of Wonder Bread.
Yes.
So for a non-Wonder Bread slice in the loaf, I bet that adjustment was a little bit difficult for you.
Yes, and we love Wonder Bread.
Right,
but
exactly.
But yes, what a tricky challenge. Right. I mean, really, here I was in the 4th grade. I think there was one other little Black gal that went to school with me, and we weren't even, friends. But yes, I really didn't fit in. I didn't belong, and society let me know I didn't belong. I didn't fit in with the white community. I certainly didn't fit in with the Black community. Because I had quote unquote white, characteristics, the way I talked, the way I, walked, the way I danced. So, and beyond all of that, because I was, really feeling depressed and what's wrong with me and away from my siblings, I started to eat, became overweight. I was very understyled. And P.S., we grew up in poverty at that point. And so society, as you probably remember and know and perhaps have experienced, is very judgmental. And they treat you based on how they see you. So though I was just an innocent young kid, I had a lot of judgments and so it all ended up in, lack of self-esteem and, poor self-concept and image.
Right.
To name a few.